Hello, Pisces, and welcome to your November 2024 tarot card reading. Real quick before we get started, I wanted to announce that I do have the 2025 year ahead overview Zoom session available on my website. So if you want to book a session with me, you're more than welcome to do that. We'll go over your transits for 2025. We'll pull some tarot cards to get a really good idea of what you can expect month to month. So all that information will be in the description box in the comment thread down below, so you can kind of navigate from there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. What is it that Pisces needs to know for the month of November 2024? Starting with an oracle card here. And we have peace. Okay, so a lot of the choices that you make, I think, are going to be for the sake of peace. And there's going to be a lot of decisions that you make because you haven't had peace in so many other areas of your life. And I do think Pisces, to a degree, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Not having peace in other areas of your life, but in the past, that you've had scenarios in which you haven't had peace, and now you're making changes and choices to ensure that peace is your top priority. And they might be hard. I'm not saying they're easy choices. You know, some choices may include leaving people behind. It may include, for some of you, some legal stuff. For some of you, it might mean taking a huge risk and a big leap of faith. And to be honest, okay, well, that card definitely wanted to come out. And to be honest, I'm going to just tell you this right now, that faith has been a big theme for all the readings so far that I've been doing in November. So I think we are being asked to operate in faith a lot, and faith in not only ourselves, but in the divine as well, and faith in the miraculous, and faith that the things that seem completely impossible may in fact be possible. Okay, so we have this card that says a new romantic cycle begins. Now, this could mean an actual romance. This card came out for, I think, Aquarius as well. If you're not interested in romance, or you're not here for that, it could be a new relational cycle in terms of the new relationships that you have in your life. It could mean, just in a way, kind of a blank slate in general, just sort of a new cycle, generally speaking. But if you are interested in romance, that's a really good omen that says that there's something on the docket for you. And because peace is here, it's probably going to be a pretty healthy relationship. Okay, so what else, Pisces, that you need to know for November 2024? The Fool. Well, there's the leap of faith right there. We got the Six of Swords and the Page of Wands. All right, I'm kind of seeing you so far. Now we'll see what the rest of the cards have to say. But so far, I'm definitely seeing you going with the flow with a lot of things. I'm seeing you relinquish a lot of control. I'm seeing you abdicate, kind of taking your hands off the wheel and saying, okay, God, like, you've got the wheel, or spirit or divine or whatever you identify with there. But you've got the wheel. I'll trust this process. I'll take that leap. I'm not going to say that it's going to be entirely easy, okay? Because sometimes the Six of Swords, it takes time. This is not a very fast card, but there is forward motion nonetheless. And it does seem to indicate that you're moving away from rocky waters and moving toward kind of a more peaceful, glassy watered horizon, right? There's kind of a paradise on the other side. But even still, there is someone in this boat kind of paddling or pushing forward, and that can take some work. And it's going to be the work that happens on a decision by decision basis. So as you are taking this leap of faith, there are going to be a myriad of decisions and choices that you have to make, and then actions to back those up. It's not just about saying, okay, well, I decide to do this and then doing nothing. You have to actually do something. And so as you are decision and then taking an action, and then decision and action, and you're going through this process, that is a brick by brick motion. That is a kind of a paddle by paddle motion, if you will. And what is that called? One row, like when you're rowing a boat, like one row at a time. Eventually you're going to really start seeing progress, and you're going to start to feel yourself leaving the choppy waters. You're going to be leaving the more difficult phase of life. And I think you can already feel that. I think you feel ready for that. I think this is a big part of what Saturn is doing in your sign, is kind of saying, okay, Pisces, there's a new identity coming online for you. You really have to let go of and sever yourself from a version of you that was important and relevant in the past, but it's no longer who you are, which means you have to start operating differently. And when we start changing, that's not always the easiest process, okay? Because sometimes old stuff comes up, we get triggered in old ways, and we want to just revert back to those old patterns like immediately. But this is you actively saying, oh, I really don't want to act in that same way. I really don't want to repeat that pattern. And so I'm going to do something different. I'm going to approach it differently. I'm going to be cooler. I'm going to be more detached. I'm going to be more self-aware, and I'm going to communicate better. And I'm going to do all these things. And I'm going to take all the lessons that I have learned, and I'm going to bring them into the future. And here you are, Page of Wands, one step at a time, saying, I know this is going to improve. I know this is going to get better. I know there's more for me. I know that this is just going to be kind of an upswing from where I'm coming from. Now, again, I'm not suggesting that your whole life was in shambles before and now all of a sudden it's going to be sparkly clean. I mean, probably for the most part, your life was pretty normal, and for the most part, it's going to continue to be pretty normal. But if there are areas of your life that are needing improvement, like for example, your relational energies, this is a time where you just really have to say, okay, I'm going to do it different. And I'm going to trust, and I'm going to have faith, and I'm going to do the work. Like if this is actually a romance, for those of you who care about that, okay, if this is actually a romance and you have maybe not the best track record with dating, this is going to be your time to set higher standards, to walk away sooner rather than later, to stop self-sacrificing, to stop all the things that got you in trouble in the first place. If you're already in an established relationship and you're happy, this is kind of a blank slate even for the two of you, where I think you're going to get to know each other again. You're going to fall more deeply in love. You're going to connect with one another in a better way. And the nature of your relationships and the things that need to improve within those connections is very possible right now. And Pisces, you might be leading the charge a little bit and making it safe for your partner to do the same. Okay, and again, if it's not romantic, there's all different types of relationships. There's friendships, siblings, parents, friends, co-workers, bosses. There's all types of relationships, and they're all going to change because you are changing, and they're going to likely become more peaceful because you are merely choosing peace and kind of eliminating things that don't offer peace. So we have the Two of Wands, we have the Moon, and the Ten of Cups. Now, the Two of Wands is really focused, okay? And I'm kind of seeing you approaching your goals, romantic and otherwise, with this obsessed dedication, which I think is necessary for us to really start seeing progress, okay? Scorpio season is one of the best seasons to be obsessed with something, okay? To be obsessed with moving the needle a little bit. And the Two of Wands, it's more work than it is play. Okay, this is not really I'm not saying you can't do social things and go out and have fun, but I would say that stuff needs to take the back seat to the priorities. That needs to take the back seat to the tasks at hand. And you do need to be very serious about why you're doing what you're doing and to have some sense of purpose with it all. Okay, if you're doing something willy-nilly with no sense of purpose, it's going to get kind of wonky and it's not going to have the structure that you need. Two of Wands has a lot of structure, and it has a plan, and it has a strategy, and it says, okay, I'm going to do this. So let's use a dating scenario. You guys know I'm not the most like romance-oriented tarot reader. That's not normally my gig, but it kind of seems like that's maybe something that's coming online for some of you. So let's talk a little bit about that. So for example, for dating, and I'm not saying you have to go into it with all these rules and everything like that, but you have to know where you stand, and you have to know what you're going to accept and what you're not going to accept. And you have to understand like where the boundary is, and you have to be able to communicate that boundary, and you have to be able to do the work, and you have to be able to walk away from people, right? That's kind of the rules. That's the structure that you're setting in place. One of the, I don't know who said this. I don't know if this is a famous quote or something, but you've probably heard this before, that says, "We teach people how to treat us." And you have to remember that in a new relationship scenario, when boundaries are being set and you're getting to know someone and you're kind of feeling out each other, that if you want to be treated a certain way, you're going to have to teach them to treat you that way, which, is really important for you to communicate. And if they don't honor that, then so long, right? Sayonara. We don't want to see you again, and to be really firm like that. And when we have the Moon card, it also suggests kind of a mystery. And hopefully you can embrace the mystery. And sometimes I see the mystery with the Six of Swords as well, because sometimes all you know is that you're leaving something. You don't always necessarily know exactly where you're going. I think you have an idea of where you want to go. But again, with the Fool card, you're kind of saying, okay, Spirit, I'm going to take my hands off the wheel here. I'm going to let you do the driving, and I'm going to take a big leap of faith, and I'm going to put myself out there, and I'm going to try, and I'm going to really show up for this. And knowing that it's not all going to be perfect right away, but knowing that the higher power has the controls, you're going to be willing to just kind of take this step by step. And that's often how the Moon requires us to do that. It doesn't really illuminate our path all that well. It kind of forces you to just take one step. Same with the Page of Wands. It's like all you can do is just one step. All is just brick by brick. You're not going to just suddenly have the building unless you actually physically build it. There's also a lot of insecurity and fear. Often the Moon represents those things within our subconscious that get unlocked. Now, when the Sun is in Scorpio, especially in your 9th house, there is a lot of illumination regarding your deeper psyche, right? Because that Sun comes into that very dark underworld of Scorpio, and it illuminates all of the darkness. So there's not a lot that's hidden to you right now. So when it comes to understanding yourself, your motives, your patterns, and all of that, I don't think that there's anything that's really that you're missing. Like, I don't think you're not seeing what you're supposed to see. I think it's very clear, and you see yourself clearly. There's not any weird, like where you're seeing something that's not a reality. I think you're very locked in on the reality of who you are, and the reality of what your issues are, and what your strengths are, and your weaknesses, and your passions. Like, who you are. So yes, the fears are going to come up. Yes, the insecurities are going to come up, but you're going to be so aware of those things. And even with the Two of Wands, I often do see a lot of detachment there, because you're kind of elevated, you're transcended a little bit. So you're up here and you're experiencing all of these things. You're opening up this new cycle. You're inviting in a lot of new and different opportunities. So yes, sometimes it can be scary, but you're so aware of that fear that there's no chance that it's going to block you. Okay, fear can be there and not be a blockage, right? And I don't see it as being a blockage or a problem, because the 10 of Cups is so worth it. The 10 of Cups is your ultimate emotional happiness and success. And that's the point of the Fool, is that we're either unhappy or dissatisfied with something. And so this is us trying to do something about it. We're looking around and saying, this is not good enough for me. And I may have created this scenario, and that's fine and okay. And yeah, I accept responsibility for where I'm at, but I'm not content here, and I don't want to be complacent, and I don't want to just sit here, and I don't want to be any type of a martyr or a victim or anything like that. So I'm actually going to take this big leap of faith in this new direction. I'm going to open up this new cycle on purpose. I'm going to open up these new relationships, invite these new opportunities into my life on purpose, so that I can actualize my 10 of Cups, which is the best of you, really, is what it is. Because when you're looking around and you're discontent and dissatisfied, that's not the best of you. And I think that's what this next era is really all about, and actually on in through 2026, as Saturn and Neptune do their little dance for the next year or so. We're not quite there yet. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I think that transit right there is going to break down so much of us individually, and that's going to be the most transformative transit, I would say, probably in our lifetime, or one of the most transformative in our lifetime anyway. And that's saying a lot considering what happened in 2020. I think this one is even more so. And so we're breaking so much down, and it's a continual process, but this is for us to really live in the best of us. Okay, to really be the best of us. So we have Four of Wands, Judgment, and the Seven of Coins. I knew there was some level of dissatisfaction, discontent, because I often see that with the Seven of Coins. So I'm happy I said that already, because that really mirrors that card, or that is being mirrored in that card anyway. So the seven, I'm going to start here, even though it's the last card. It's not to say that you're not proud, because I know that you have accomplished a lot. Okay. The 10 of Cups is not some pie in the sky, unattainable thing, by the way. Okay. That's not what the 10 of Cups is about. It's not something you reach for externally. 10 of Coins is a lot more external. It's those more material goals. 10 of Cups is something that you can just be. But sometimes if we know that we've put ourselves in a place that's just kind of meh, then we look around and we kind of see that as a reflection of us. And we know that it's not really who we are, or not really who we want to be. And so you're kind of in this place where, okay, it's good. And yeah, you have this and you have that and you've done these things, and you're kind of middle of the road and it's fine. But there's also that part of you that says, but I know I can do better. I know that I can perform better. I know there's more value in me. I know there's more I can give. There's more I can do. There's more I can produce. And there's more that I can receive. And so the Seven of Coins, it's not for you to feel badly about where you are, or to, criticize yourself or anything like that, because I know Pisces can be very critical with that Virgo opposition there. But it's not to criticize yourself. I mean, the Seven of Coins it's just realistic. It's like, well, this is where you're at. This is what your bank account looks like. This is what your house looks like. This is what car you drive. This is the job you have. This is the state of your relationship. Like, it just is what it is. And I think you are so realistic right now, which is great, because it's the realism that's driving all the hope and faith. Because realistically, you got yourself here, which is pretty great. Realistically, you've done wonderful things, which is awesome. So realistically, you take this next leap of faith, chances are it's going to be pretty great for you too. And the cards are suggesting that, yeah, that Fool, that big leap of faith, it is really good for you. And I think you'll be happy by taking that leap of faith and jumping into what seems like an abyss. Maybe even it's like complete crapshoot. You're like, I have no idea how this is going to go. Let's just try it, but I think it is going to work out well. But this is what's driving it, because you're looking around and you're saying, it's got to be better. And, this might be very anti-Zen or anti-Buddhism or whatever, those kinds of religions and teachings and philosophies that talk about just being really content. I know that culturally, Westernized cultures tend to be a little bit more of a certain way, where we want more and more and more. Other cultures, not so much, but we all have some degree of expansion that we're expected to go through in this lifetime, because we all have Jupiter doing something in our chart at all times. There's always a desire for expansion, whether it's education, whether it's finances, whether it's having children, whether it's building a business, making a name for yourself and becoming famous, like whatever it is, we all have it. Okay, so this is your moment where I think you're saying, it's time for me to expand. It's time for me to start receiving more. Now, coming back here to the Four of Wands, I will tell you, there is a lot regarding the social energy. Okay, this happened last month too. There was a lot of social energy There was a lot about contacts and all sorts of different relationships, not just romantic, but all sorts. Now, the Four of Wands can be really festive and fun. It's parties and going out and just having a great time. But you want to make sure that you're having a great time with great people. It's not just having a great time with just anybody or people who are on a self-destructive path, right? Four of Wands builds you up. It creates stability and security. And this is a network of people that are there with you while you are doing these wonderful things or while you are venturing off, because this can be extremely uncomfortable. You're out here trying to create peace and trying to, really cultivate this security, okay? And you can't be around people who are insecure or do not have security within themselves. And I don't just mean like feeling insecure. I mean like financial insecurity and all sorts of things. All right. So you want to be with people and spend time with people that you want to be like. They're above you. They've already achieved what you're hoping to achieve. So they can help lift you up. This is about putting yourself in the right rooms with the right people to lift you up, just like the Judgment card is all about coming up out of the darkness. It's about revival. It's about resurrection. It's about you seeing the light and you having the light bulb moments that you need to be able to succeed. So surrounding yourself with positive people, with motivated people, with inspiring people, with people who have done incredible things with very little. Those are going to be your sources. Okay, now you're not going to be draining anything from them. All right, there's nothing you can take from them because they wouldn't let you do that anyway. But these people are going to help you to believe that that 10 of Cups is possible and to show you that like you can have that right now. You can have it right now, and that 10 of Cups actually manifests and gives you the 10 of Coins externally. All right, so if you're sitting here and you're like, well, I want this, there are things that you can do to kind of be there, right? And I think taking the big leap of faith is the best thing you can do this month. Dive in, try it, experiment. Am I guaranteeing that you're going to have exactly what you want by the end of November? No, I'm never going to guarantee that. But you have to put yourself in the space, right? You have to make yourself available for what you want. Because if you're sitting here and you're in a state of discontentment and you're just allowing yourself to just be like, well, it's good enough, that's you kind of saying that you don't deserve what it is your heart truly desires. And I'll tell you what, when Mars comes into Leo, that happens, by the way, on the 3rd of November. So he's going to be in Leo for most of the month. And so when Mars and Leo come together like this, all that hot Martian energy, it's very hot, passionate, strong, warrior-like energy goes toward the sun-ruled aspect of your chart. And the sun-ruled aspect of your chart is like your soul's purpose. It's like your soul's drive, your soul's ambition. And Mars is like, we're not going to stop for anyone or anything, right? We're going to push this through. We're going to make this happen. And even though he's retrograding there in December, I get it. It's a Mars retrograde. It's a little different, but it doesn't mean that you have to play this victim to blockages, because there are none. There are none. So you're golden. You're totally good to go. Okay. You just have to take that leap of faith. All right, let's pull out the clarifier. So we're going to pull out a whole bunch of cards, 3 cards additional per card. So like an extra 27 cards. And we're going to talk for 25 to 30 minutes about those. So it's like a whole separate reading. So if you want to join, we're going to get a lot more detailed. It's going to be found in the comprehensive reading. So the link for that will be in the description box and the comment thread down below. So let's go ahead and get started, Pisces, and take a look at what this Fool card, what do you need to know about this Fool card? Another 4 of Wands. Really important to have that social network, to have that support group, to really be there for you and to help you feel that it's possible. 9 of Coins and Ace of Wands. Hanged Man, 8 of Coins. I knew there was work. I knew it. And 7 of Swords. Five of Coins, the Magician, and the World card. Seven of Cups, High Priestess, the Hermit, King of Cups, King of Swords, Seven of Wands, Eight of Wands, another Judgment, Knight of Cups, Nine of Swords, Ace of Cups, Five of Cups, Six of Cups, Queen of Cups. Yeah, I kind of feel like you're coming out as the Queen. The Kings are not sitting well with me. I don't think that's your energy. Three of Cups, Justice, and Temperance. Okay, so this is where we're going to pick up. All right, Pisces, so if you want to join, you are more than welcome. Thank you all so much. You guys know I love and adore you. Have an amazing month, and I'll talk to you soon.